Hey guys, by the way, Gen Z's, we are going, man. We are going. We are going. And even when I use the word going, I just don't mean the word you think, like going to the hub, doing these things. What I mean is even to the point where, like how somebody participates in something, like they are there cheering on that thing, but they're cheering it because they're only a spectator and a fan, but they're not the actually participant in the thing. That's what I'm saying, going. And guys, like you guys are not seeing the thing that's happening in Kenya. Like, so I saw a post somewhere. A guy had built an app for finding ganyas, right, with using AI, and he had written on his shirt, "Build using AI, build with us using AI," and like I saw this as a kind of a promotion on something or some sort to show people that actually AI works, you know. And we have normalized this thing. It's not even been an year, and it has become something huge, even coming to politics right now, right? As people are preparing for the 2027 political elections, now the politicians are doing everything they are doing, and now people even they're now embedded deeply into politics, like bro, and even now the World Cup is now. The World Cup is almost ending, and people people themselves, they're so, like how people say no, England will beat the time. England, no, England will do this. No, Spain will do this. Brazil, man. And you see even grown men getting deeply in convicted. The emotions are convicted. They're compromised because of a team. You're deep, but you're not an active participant, right? You're just a spectator. I think you need to know when to draw the line. But even coming back to the actual word going itself. But guys, remember, we're actually going into submission. We are just giving in. Like also the other guy, people don't want to come to university anymore. They're saying the guy is telling people to go to this school on as Moringa school. Like you need to go to Moringa. You want me to tell you to take your kids, take them to Moringa. You know, and he went to a class. He asked students who wants to go to the university here. Only one person raised out of like 25. Only one. The rest they were okay where they were because they knew what they were coming to do there was gonna give them what a job. And most of us usually misinterpret the fact that we don't go to campus to actually get a job. That thing, I don't know who needs to hear that, but we don't go to campus to actually get a job, man. We come here to learn things, man. To learn to network. If you're lucky, yeah, get network, build something, create something huge. Because everybody's saying, I've gotten a degree, haven't gotten a job. I'm selling clothes at Kamukunji. I'm selling shoes at River Road. I'm selling tomatoes in Kongowea. Everybody has their own opinion. But the thing about education and intelligence is that it takes a very long time. That's what I know. It takes a long time to come for you to actually come with a breakthrough. Don't get me wrong, there's the system that makes us do these things, learn so that we can run the system, so that the system can actually keep going for years to come. But people mistaken making a job and actually becoming rich too. When you're so deep into actually deciphering these kind of things, like you're so deep even with the emotions, you cannot even be logic with anything. Guys, we are going into submission. We are giving in. And I mean, we shouldn't even be focused on why you don't have a job. We should be focused on why you don't have a job. Why is the same system that put you here still running? You know, why is it running? Right? You don't have a job, but why is the system that led you this place still running? Those are the kind of things that we should be talking about. because these systems are still promoting the same. Look, like I remember last year, it never made sense to me why my lecturer would strike because they have cars, they have, but they were striking, bro, and because they were not being paid. And let me tell you, this is somewhere. It's a campus is somewhere people get paid, just like everybody else. A lecturer gets paid. Do you think they're willingly to make you a millionaire and them getting paid at just a few dollars? You see, I'm even going into submission. I'm going right now. But do you think does that make sense to you that they wanna make you millionaires, they wanna make you the next big companies, they wanna make nah man, they don't. Me, that's what I know. They don't. They just wanna make us slaves. They wanna make us submit to them, obey to the corporate world and all. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. I don't know. Because even for me to even get into campus, I need to belong to that campus. It's like a community of its own kind. You need to have an ID to get into campus, to go to wherever you need. That's a place of restriction, bro. It follows rules. And remember, big money never comes clean. Never comes clean. And man, that's an institution. It's an institution. It's one of the cleanest place ever. I'm just talking my mind here. I don't know who's with me really. But we should legalize telling our parents that campus is not some, or even college. Like, you know, look at the amount of public universities we have nowadays, right? There are so many. The activities, the colleges, all of this, there's so many. And the amount of the the, the people, the students who get into these institutions to actually enroll in these courses, they even much more. The campuses have become saturated to a point where you cannot even, you just want more just for you to what? Feed your stomachs. Come on, man. That's what I think is happening. People are just like people are just out here for self-interest. If I'm not getting what I want, then why am I here? If you're not giving what I want, why are you here? I mean, they use grades to get us into campus. Then they filter you using fees. Then they filter you using schools. Then they filter you again with what? Degree, diplomas. We are going into submission. We are giving in, guys. We are giving in to these people. Don't get me wrong. I like, I like, I like school. The only reason why I'm at in life is because of me pursuing education. Without this, maybe I'll be somewhere in the countryside, feeding cows maybe. And that's one thing that, also our parents usually have a different perspective of you when you're in campus and if you're back in the streets. Because when you're in school, they give you a different, they give you respect. But when you're off school, things are different. Oh, what are you doing with your life? Why didn't you go to finish school? Like, I remember one of my worst dreams, actually, my worst nightmares. I've ever had this one nightmare where I woke up and my parents, I was a low life, and they would ask me, why didn't you go to school? Look at you now. And let me tell you, up to date minor, that's the thing that makes me scared enough to actually even want to pursue something else. The fact that maybe one day they lose this, if I cut it off, they'd use it as an excuse for telling me why not have what I have in life. Like, why didn't you go to school? Why didn't you ever do this and that? You decide to go to the streets, eh? So you've learned from the universe. What has it taught you now? You see where you at. But anyway, guys, we should educate our parents well. But I mean, the old regime, and nowadays, one thing I've come to realize is that the old traditional formula doesn't work anymore. I mean, they created systems that only work for the old regime. They didn't create this system for us to adapt in it. You know. Thank you, guys.